Yes, everyone, welcome back. Hope your Monday is going well. Hope you guys are ready for a new week, because with the new week comes a new week of Chelsea news, and we are starting this Monday off with some, pretty big stories I've released surrounding transfer targets for the summer. Here are the latest reports surrounding Mahrez, centre-back targets, and the latest surrounding Declan Rice and Rudiger. So I hope you guys enjoy. Smash that like button, get involved in the comments, share your thoughts, opinions behind these stories. But before we get into anything, I need to get one big plug out of the way first. Today's video is brought to you by friends of the channel in OneFootball. Now, you guys know I'm constantly going on about OneFootball because for me, if you're a football fan, this is the ultimate app to have, because you literally get all the information, news, stats, stories straight on your phone in one quick and easy hub. I'm going to give you guys some demonstrations behind how useful and handy this app can be. As you guys can see on screen, the function that I like the most is the follow function here. For me, if I want to get updated news surrounding certain players or news surrounding clubs, this is the app I use. For example, as you can see, I'm favoriting Chelsea. This allows me to see all the latest news coming out daily surrounding the club. Naturally, everything's dominated and centered around Rudiger and Real Madrid. But of course, you scroll to the tabs over here, you guys, you can see the league table positions, fixture lineups as well as the transfer rumor section here, just in case you want to really get all the news stories surrounding everything happening surrounding transfer activity at the club. If you don't have it, honestly, what are you waiting for? This is the perfect opportunity to, get one of the best companion apps of football. All you have to do, go to the description below, download OneFootball. Let's start with the first story, and let's continue to focus on Antonio Rudiger, as we know that his imminent move to Real Madrid has essentially been confirmed today. Fabrizio Romano plus many other publications and reporters reported that he has agreed a 4-year deal with Real Madrid. I'm going to let you guys know very quickly. Make sure you guys watch my video from yesterday to get the full context and picture surrounding why Rudiger decided to leave the club, and to get more insight behind some of the contract offers being presented to him by clubs like Real Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain, and learn the differences between our offers and theirs. But regardless, Tuchel gave his assurances that Rudiger is still fully committed to the team. He should be able to be selected for the game against Man United. That's coming up very soon as well too. And I guess ultimately, I'd like to think that Rudiger can leave on a high by helping us secure a domestic cup before the season ends, because we've got to how many finals recently. The amount of losses in these finals is getting a little bit scary, getting a little bit worrying, and I feel like we can be doing a lot better, and even more motivation for Rudiger to leave on an absolute high. Now, reports have suggested that the takeover saga currently, the delays surrounding the takeover, that played the most significant part in really pushing Rudiger to secure his future elsewhere. However, he knew since before January that he was going to go. So it felt like by the time we offered him that contract deal that had been sitting there for a while, that wasn't being entertained by the player, it was already too late. So of course, there could be arguments that if we secured this contract extension way before the January deadline, who knows if he's accepting those terms and things play out differently. But I don't know. I think ultimately we've paid the price for a lack of long-term planning. I feel like sometimes with our long-term planning, it involves too many gambles at times. I'm looking at last season. I'm looking at the fact that we were quite comfortable and happy to sell Guides Crystal Palace for 18 mil. Knowing the fact that, okay, we're probably going to sign Kunday, last summer, and we're most likely going to get Christensen and Rudiger to sign new contract extensions. I get that if that was the plan, but unfortunately, the plan wasn't planned. There was nothing there. It didn't work out. And in the end, we've been left with egg in our face, in my opinion. I just feel like we need to minimize some of the errors that we make by just flopping these risks and these gambles. Not everything has to be a gamble where you're just looking to wait for circumstances to play out first before they're making decisions. I just personally feel like if you don't have this many defenders secured by that time, it's kind of crazy to allow someone like a guy to leave for so cheap, knowing that now he's an England international player and one of the best young centre-backs in the country. He could have been learning off experienced figures, getting an understanding of Tuchel's system currently, and saving us a ton of money. But I guess ultimately, when you're looking to sign a Kunday and not keep Guy, then I can see why some of these decisions do get made. But still, Tuchel ideally wants 2 centre-backs now to replace your Christensens and your Rudigers. And just knowing that amount of money, knowing that, we've sold 7 top defensive options like your Lampteys guys and everyone for a combined total of less than 80 mil. Signing 2 centre-backs is going to cost us way more than that. And on top of that, you have your agent fees and so many other clauses on top too that just take the transfers to a next level. So it does feel like we are paying the price even more now. And let's see what market options get thrown at us for centre-back positions. So I guess now this story segues on very nicely to the next story, and that is discussing centre-back targets. Now, the 2 targets being looked at to be Rudiger's replacement is currently Jules Kunday and Wesley Fofana. So we'll start with Kunday first. And I think, as we've already known for a while, even though this got reported again today, Kunday has made it clear that he will be leaving at the end of the season. I think I did a story on this like last month. Sevilla are already planning for Kunday going. They want like around 50-60 mil for a sell. They need that money because their finances are a bit peak at this point in time, and they want to reinvest back into strengthening the squads. And Jules Kunday is one of like their best market options they have in the squad. So he's destined to be leaving, and I do think he's a good player. I think he's a unique player. His height might be used against him, but lots of small, stocky defenders have had a lot of success. I actually do think that you do have certain advantages too from being smaller and having a lower sense of gravity as well too. It allows you to shift the direction of your body compared to a taller defender. That allows you to keep up with defenders, and I think most of our defending is done from defending on the ground. In the air, he's got that leap, he can handle himself, so I'm not really worried about that. And on top of that, with his dribbling ability as well too, that could be quite interesting. And let's see what Tuchel has planned if Kunday does come, which is kind of looking like he is a dead cert guy to be signing. Moving on now to Wesley Fofana, and reports have suggested that we have had long-term interest in the player ever since he was playing for Saint Etienne back in Ligue 1. Of course, he's done extremely well to come back from a horrendous injury, broken leg, an injured ankle, just awful, terrible. Now he's recently got back into the team after that long hiatus away, but for me, especially after seeing that performance against Aston Villa, Ollie Watkins kind of completely did him in the entire game. And I understand, listen, I'm not going to use it against him too much. He's just got back after long-term injury. He's going to need more time to get back to his previous level. But it was a man of the mistakes that was being made. I'm seeing Watkins spinning him on the outsides. I'm seeing him drag him out of positions, running behind. I'm seeing him out-muscle him. I'm seeing all these different variations he was trying to be able to beat someone like Faufana. And, he's one of those guys where if you're an opposition manager, you're going to target some of his deficiencies to try and find some tactical advantages. He's young, he's just 21 years old. Even his experience so far, it can still be a lot more, even though he's showing lots of potential currently. But I just think that when I see some of the responses towards maybe Trevor Chalobah making a mistake here and there, if he can face that scrutiny, then I can't imagine how people would respond to Faufana, because he's one of those guys that still has mistakes in every game he plays in. And I guess ultimately it will come down to the club accepting that if we buy him, he'll come with mistakes, but he is worth allowing him to grow. And then I guess if that is the reasoning and the logic, then why not save even more money and just really promote that game time to a Levi Colwill, who in my opinion is actually a better player and has more attributes like being left-footed, better in the air, better at playing between the lines as well too, and stronger. I think that he's the guy I'd go for, to be honest. But Faufana definitely has a long-term future. The guy is only 21 years old. I just think to sign him for this summer when he's just returned from an injury, and when he's literally just signed a long-term contract as well, I mean, that is a ton of money he would cost you. I just think that it could be a case of diminishing returns at this point in time if the plan is to start challenging for next season. For me, and I go back to that point again, we've sold defensive options which, add up to the tune of less than 80 mil. Signing 2 defenders will cost way more than that. Maybe it's time to reinvest that money into other positions in the squads. And maybe it's time to focus on being a back 4 team now and move away from a back 3 team. You guys in the comments below, share your thoughts and opinions. Do you think it's time to see a formation change for next season? Now let's move on to another big story, and that is developments coming out from France surrounding our interest for Man City's Riyad Mahrez. Now Mahrez has had low-key a very, very good season. I think that's 6 goals in the Champions League. I think he's like Man City's top scorer too in all comps with like 23 goals and I think 6 or something. I can't remember the assists at this point in time, but Mahrez is a world-class winger and he's demonstrated that over the years. And reports from France are suggesting that because Mahrez has not been able to find and reach a new contract extension with Man City, potentially he could be out the doors. And his market valuation, the rumours floating around, is that he could be available for less than 35 mil. Now, of course, he is 31 years old, but I think now when players, get past the age of 30 in modern day football, it's just not even that deep to me. I think like 30 is a new 27. The sports science, the fitness is on a different level to whatever it used to be like, even like 10, 20 years ago. So you're getting prime quality if you're able to sign him and guaranteed quality instantly. And if the ambition is to secure silverware, then maybe having more of a balance between like experience and youth of high potential could be the way to do things and the way to go forwards. I'm always going to feel like Mahrez should always have been a Chelsea player. Man City have always had this thing of signing players that I always thought were destined to sign for us. Like your Silvers, your Agueros, your Riyad Mahrezes, players that have had a lot of fun things to say about us when they thought that they could be potentially securing moves to us. Mahrez came very close to signing for us in Kunday season. I don't know how we signed Danny Drinkwater instead of like securing Mahrez. Imagine we could have had Mahrez and Hazard together. That is literally like the new Robin and Duff, but that's a what if for another time. Man City, they've signed Alvarez from River Plate. They've essentially signed Erling Haaland as well too. Clearly, they're going to be revamping their attack and allowing some players to leave. So, they're one of the best attacking teams in the world. And maybe it could be smart or wise to try and persuade one of their players to sign for us for next season. Would you guys be happy to see Riyad Mahrez here? Or do you think maybe he's too old and there's other targets to look for? What would it say about like Hakim Ziyech if Mahrez was to sign? There's so many connotations to this, you guys. Share your thoughts below in the description. And now we end things with the final big story today, and that's more updates surrounding Declan Rice. Now, this story is going to be told from the perspective of Man City, because Man City are one of our rivals when it comes to the signing of Declan Rice. Of course, they're looking for a replacement for Fernandinho. They're not going to just rely upon Rodri throughout the entire season. Man City have an incredible squad because Pep Guardiola relies on rotation. One of the reasons why your Liverpools and Cities do so well is because they can rotate between having a squad that can all play for the first team and play with each other. That is the final thing we have to do. But currently, Man City are still kind of feeling the grief from how their involvement for Harry Kane went down. Of course, in the end, they got priced out to sign the player, and they don't want to be put in that same position again with Declan Rice. West Ham are very adamant that he won't be sold for less than 150 mil. He has like about 3 years left on his contract as well too. They're not really feeling any pressure to have to sell. And of course, at that price, it's way too high. But Rice has admirers from all the big clubs in the country, because for me, this guy is going to be a leading midfield player in the Premier League. Tuchel has seen Rice as someone that can upgrade the midfields, and for me, it wouldn't make sense to sign 2 centre-backs and 1 DM. That's way too much money being spent on defensive options. I need to see like reinforcement in the fullback area and 1 new attacking player as well too. So maybe if you sign Rice, I feel like that is the emphasis then, to not need to sign 2 defenders. I think you could balance that out, to be fair. But still, Rice is set to be leaving West Ham. He's rejected signing a new contract for the 3rd time now, and with this latest contract offer, it's believed that the total wage packet would have been around 200,000 a week, which is a ton of money and sums up that Rice is ready to move on now. So I think that it could be actually quite hard to sign him in this window. I think if West Ham don't win the Europa League, Rice could use this as an opportunity to try and pressure them to sell him now. But if they do win the Europa League, I feel like Rice would definitely stay at West Ham for 1 more season to play Champions League football for them. And then if he does that, I'd imagine that with West Ham earning Champions League money, being able to like reinvest in the squad to prepare for the Champions League as well too, I think they would give their blessing to allow him to leave for a fair price. So let's see what happens here, because there aren't too many great DMs around that for me I know would be top class options to help us mount a title challenge for next season. So you guys, on that note, I'm going to wrap things up. that is the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please get involved in the comments, share your thoughts and opinions, and like this video as well too. So on that note, I'm Nini FC. This is Blue Lines TV. I'll catch you guys later with some more videos. Cool.